Evening.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. Okay, we're going to get started in just a minute here as people are signing in. Thank you all for coming. All right, I am going to get started. Thank you everybody for coming. My name is Rob Kiley. I'm one of the two directors of Long Island Surge. This is the parent meeting for the 2023-24 Travel and Premier Club season. I'm going to go over some things to expect this year if you're thinking about participating with Surge, what kind of makes Surge stand apart from other clubs, and just kind of what to expect this year and what we're all about here. So I'm going to share my screen here and a presentation is going to pop up. If it doesn't pop up, just let me know. And okay, slideshow should be up. Like I said, my name is Rob Kiley. I'm one of the directors. I'm going to go through the season information, the start, the end dates, the twitching costs, kind of what what we train our coaches to do, and what you can expect as parents this season. So welcome. I'm going to go ahead and get started. If for whatever reason this cuts out or you need to leave the meeting, that's fine. A copy of this is going to get posted to the website the next day or so you can come back and refer to it for any information that you may need. All right. So our email address is lisurgevolleyball.com. Those of you who have been with us before in other programs, we have staff now who monitor the email that can get back to you pretty much all day. My full-time job is a teacher, so sometimes during the day it's a little difficult for me to answer emails. So we have a full-time registrar who's working for us now. Her name is Jamie, and she's wonderful, and she's been a big help to us and can answer any questions that you might have. She gets back to you pretty quickly. So just something to think about. All right. So Surge was founded in 2015. So this is our 8th year running it. We had 16 players in the beginning and 4 coaches. Now 2023, we're running about 48 weeks a year. We run both indoor and on the beach in the summer. We do clinics and summer camps. We have over 50 coaches that coach with us at least for part of the year. And we totaled up as of this moment, we have coached 5,800 players in the Long Island, Queens, New York City area in that. So what makes us different? Our philosophy and what we kind of work with the coaches is teaching the game the right way. What we strive for with our players is our girls and boys in the program learn all the skills. They learn how to set, how to pass, how to hit. They don't just, they might come in and say, "Oh, I'm just a front row player." We teach all the skills to all the kids. They may be just a front row player in the game or a back row player, but part of our philosophy is to make sure that every player who comes into our program gets better by the end of the season. So our practices are high rep, they're high energy. Coaches run drills that are game-like, competitive. And if anybody knows anybody who's been in the program, who's done the program, it's a dramatic change in the player's confidence and ability on the court, even in the short 6-7 months that we run our club season. They are part of a team. They're part of a little family. Some of our players actually now are coaching for us. Some players that we had in the very beginning. And it's really a great place for people of Long Island and Queens and New York City even to come and learn and love the game. What kind of puts us apart is a lot from some of the other clubs on Long Island is that we understand that high school students, middle school students are busy. They have other commitments. Volleyball might not be their number one sport, but they love the game. They're playing it at school. They want to get better. They want to, contribute to their varsity teams and junior varsity teams and middle school teams. And they're trying to squeeze this in their already busy schedules. Don't have any policies that make mandatory practice mandatory with Surge. Obviously we want the players to be there as often as possible. For the games and the tournaments, we do stress that they should be there. We want to have a full squad when we go into a tournament, but we understand that things come up. We get the schedule to parents as soon as we possibly can. We run our own tournaments out of LIU Post, which is convenient here on Long Island. We can almost guarantee that our teams get first dibs at those tournaments. So it's just something that we do for families to make sure it's an easy transition for them running our program. All right, our pricing with Surge is very, very competitive. We know there are other clubs. We're in this because myself, the other director, the coaches, we love the game. We want to teach the game. Our heart is there. Many clubs on Long Island do charge double, even triple what we charge. So we try to keep it as cost effective as possible. What your tuition covers, I'm going to go over in a little bit. It does feel expensive. A winter sport where we're renting gym time is why the price is where it is. But considering that I think we do a good job keeping it doable for families. And a lot of our families come back year to year because they're not looking to spend $1 million a year or, be traveling all over the Northeast or the country. They just want their son or daughter to love the game and to play the game and to be competitive. All right, so we start this year. We will be starting on or about November 8th. Might be the week after that. It all depends on the gym time and when the high school seasons end. Myself and the other club director were both varsity coaches, so sometimes our playoff seasons may go a little bit later. We have 2 main locations for our practices. It's either in Oceanside in the Oceanside Schools gyms or at LIU Post on the North Shore. That's in, I guess technically it's Greenvale, but it's pretty much Upper Brookville, New York. And around April 1st, sometimes it's the weekend after April 1st. The reason, ideally, we wouldn't interfere with spring sports seasons because that last week of March and early April, softball starts and baseball starts and lacrosse starts and suddenly our players are being torn for other commitments. We try our best to end the season as quick as possible, but we want to make sure we get in our tournaments for our players. So sometimes that pushes it to April 1st. Sometimes it's the weekend before, but we do practice up until the beginning of April. Usually the last week of the season, if the tournaments are over, is kind of like like the party day with the team and saying goodbye to the coach. But starting November 8th, we have 2 practices a week, and we participate in all local to Long Island tournaments. So I'm going to go through the different tiers of our program. We basically have 3 levels. We have the one level where they travel a lot. They do overnight tournaments called Premier. The next one down is called our Travel Club, which is just local single day events as tournaments. So it'll either be a Saturday or a Sunday for the day. And the lowest program is something called our middle school program. This is for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade beginner players who are looking to, be a part of a team, kind of signing up in like an intramural type situation where that's kind of a half season. It's about a 3-month season. Again, they have 2 practices a week and they only do scrimmages. So it's no full day tournament. Usually it's an afternoon where we invite a team from another club to come do a scrimmage. So I know like many of you are probably familiar with club lacrosse or club soccer, where there are a lot of teams around to participate in. There's leagues for intramurals. For volleyball, there's only a handful of clubs in Nassau and Suffolk County. So we have relationships with other club directors. We invite local teams in that are around the same ability, and we have kind of a fun afternoon where we run scrimmages for the middle schoolers. All right, we don't practice over school holidays or breaks. So Christmas break, February break, depending on spring break. I believe the Easter Passover break is within our season this year. There's a Thursday, Friday where schools don't meet. Oceanside does close school gyms on those days where the district is not open. So we don't practice over those times. I think spring break is at the end of April this year, so that wouldn't affect it. Our overarching parent organization is an organization called DIVA, or Garden Empire Volleyball. They release the tournament schedule sometime in December. At that point, we start registering our teams for tournaments, and there's an acceptance process that sometimes is time consuming. So typically what we do as directors is we tell the coach, we give the schedule out to the coaches. We select between 4 and 7 dates that work for the team, and then we wait to hear back. So what we will do is we send out the dates to keep open to the team. So we'll say, here's the list of dates. We're going to be doing at least 4 of these. Please keep these days open. One thing just to point out, that even though we don't practice over February break, there could be a tournament the weekends around February break. So I know that's a big travel. We try to avoid it the best we can. But sometimes, with our tight season, we have to get in a tournament. All right, so here are our levels that we have. We have the Premier team. That's the most commitment. That's only for the girls teams, and that's ages 14, 15, 16, and 17. So basically 8th grade through junior year of high school, girls. Those teams will do overnight tournaments. There's 3 overnight tournaments and 3 local tournaments that they participate. The Travel Club is no overnights. It's medium commitment. It's only local single day tournaments. We say drivable from Nassau County. That could be out east in Suffolk County. It could be in like lower Connecticut. It could be northern New Jersey, someplace where you can get to fairly easy on a Saturday morning. And then it's a full day tournament. So the tournament would go from, like, let's say 8 in the morning, maybe you arrive at 7:30, and depending on if the team makes playoffs or not, ending sometime between 3 and 6 p.m. at night. So usually the teams bring food and lawn chairs, and they camp out in the hallway while they're not playing, and it's kind of a nice team bonding day for the kids. Excuse me. Our boys program is ages 15, 16, 17, and 18. Like I said, volleyball there's not a lot of competition out there. It's even less for the boys program. The boys program, we have some options for tournaments for them. There's an organization that invites local clubs on Long Island that we call DBLI that we play in. There are some Diva events for the boys program, but typically we've run either a U16 where we combined the 15s and 16-year-olds onto one team. So let's say freshmen, sophomores, and an older team for the juniors and seniors. And then we get them into tournaments that way. We are offering the tryouts for boys as low as middle school this year. We would love to have a middle school team. There are events out there for middle school boys. They're a little few and far between, but if we get enough to run a team in that age group, we would love to run a middle school. So 8th and 9th or 7th and 8th boys program. And lastly, middle school program, which was new last year. We have 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. It's a 3-month program, and it's basically a sign up. There's no tryout for it. You can choose the days of the week that you practice and which location you want to practice. Either sign up for an Oceanside team or you sign up for an LIU team. The only thing with the middle school program is I don't have the dates for that until we have our travel team practice days set. So the middle school program would fill in the gaps on our gym days, and that would come later. That program also would not start until November. All 4 of these programs start in November. And it just depends on which level of commitment you'd like to go for. If you put that you want to go for a premier team, which is our most competitive, most commitment, and you don't make it, we do consider players for the travel club. So it's not something that it's premier or nothing. If it doesn't work out for premier for you, you would move a player down to the travel club. We would email out that information and you can decide if that's something that you want to do or not. All right, so the cost for Premier, the overnight teams, is $2,500. That does not include hotel costs. So parents would be and guardians would be responsible for travel, hotel, and watching of the player during the tournament. I know some sports put the players in a hotel room together. We do not do that. So the parent would need to supervise at the tournament. They meet in the morning, they do some team building and some dinner together, and they usually play 2 or 3 days for the overnight tournament. There are 3 overnight tournaments and 3 single-day tournaments for this program. Like I said, that's the highest commitment. Next level down is the travel club. The tuition cost is $1,500. It's the same as it was last year. And for travel 7th grade and younger, so 7th, 6th, even 5th grade teams, the cost is $1,000. And that includes everything that the Premier includes, just no overnight tournaments. So local events. I forgot to mention also, tuition covers everything volleyball related. Uniform, the coaching, the gym rental. There's no costs that appear later on in the season. We don't, decide in March, oh, hey, we need more money from you. The only exception to that would be is if the team made nationals. So if the team wins at the end of the season, we have something called regionals. We have a spring season that comes later on. If the team wanted to stay on, if it was the good enough team, sometimes that has happened in the past, and they qualify for nationals. Not sure where it is this year, but it's been in Minnesota or Orlando. We would obviously need to fundraise and collect tuition to cover that. But we would cross that bridge. All right, our boys program is local. Like I said, drivable from Nassau County. Tuition is $1,300, and again, includes everything. There's no hidden costs there. Middle school program tuition is $600. We have I'm sorry, that should be November through January, and we have a January through April program. And it's basically a mini club team. They get the uniform. It's usually it's like a t-shirt jersey with numbers, and this is just scrimmages. This wouldn't be the full day commitment for tournaments. It would be either Saturday or Sunday afternoon versus 1 or 2 other teams. We do a few scrimmages scattered throughout their season. All right, the age definitions. So for what level team? We run from under 18 is our oldest age down to under 12 is our youngest age. Knowing where you fit is not necessarily, it's a little difficult to figure out, number one, and we tried to make it a little easier for parents this year. we're having our tryouts by grade. So we found, especially with the younger teams, they want to play with kids in their grade, even if they're born after July 1st. So based on the team's ability, we're going to place them in the tournament in the age group that they belong. So the age definitions are coming up on the next slide. The cutoff is in the middle of the year. It's July 1st. Technically, if the player is born in the year after July 1st, they are eligible for the younger team. But we would kind of give that option when we send the bid. We would see kind of where they fit in terms of ability, and we would go from there. So our tryout schedule is going to be based on grade this year. This is the age definition chart. It's a little confusing. You'd look up the players month and then year of that month, and that tells you what they technically qualify for. Players can play up on older teams. They can't go down to younger teams. This image that you're seeing here will be posted on the tryout page on our website. So I'm going to move past it, but if you wanted to see it again, like I said, it's going to get posted. So for example, a player born in August 2007 would qualify as a U16 player, but that player could also try out for U17 if they felt more comfortable playing with more kids from their grade. However, they cannot play down as a U15. You can only be your birth year or higher. I think that's pretty much the same for most sports. They don't want older kids playing at a younger age. All right, tryouts start this weekend. The tryout fee is $75. Again, 7th grade and younger, tryout fee is $30. Players are welcome to come to both tryouts. Tryouts are for an hour this Sunday coming up and the following Saturday. So the $75 includes both tryouts. Player, at the end of the second tryout, we have a bid process. Basically, what we do is we send out an email saying, hey, we'd like to offer your player this team. You have very little time to respond. Have to respond within 24 hours of the bid. The thing is, not everybody gets the bid at the same time. We start with the oldest and top teams in each age group. Happens every year. The bids start going out to the older kids. The younger kids get wind of it, and then suddenly we start getting flooded with emails saying, hey, when is my bid coming? When is my bid coming? The faster people respond to the bids, the faster we get those emails out. So because we get bogged down, it's a very busy time for us. We're not going to respond to emails asking when bids are coming for players. The only thing I can tell you is it will get there when it gets there. I'm waiting for people to respond. On the other hand, if people do not respond to the bid, they lose the spot. So we're not going to sit there and wait, a week for somebody to make a decision. I think that's kind of self-explanatory. We have to move on. People are waiting. Just another reminder, middle school program does not have tryouts. It's going to be a sign-up system. All right. This is basically kind of what I just said. Please be patient as we work to get every player out. We are pretty good at getting players on teams. The only way we would turn a player away from the program is if we didn't have enough players to run in an age group. That has happened, as I know it's happened a couple of years ago with under 18. We didn't have enough players to run in our oldest age group. If that is the case, and you gave us money to try out and we had no team for you, we refund the tryout fee. So I don't want you to think that we're just going to keep your monies up. Sorry, we don't have a team. Like I said, we're family first and cost effective. We will give you that tryout fee back. You'll get the 2 free volleyball days out of it, and our apologies that we didn't have enough to field a team. All right, so this is what everything includes: 2 practices a week. It's either at LIU, probably Tuesdays and Thursday nights this year. Oceanside practices will vary Monday through Friday. Again, I know a lot of parents have questions. Well, what days of the week will my player be playing? I don't have answers for you for that tonight. It all depends on how many teams we're running in each age group. Last year, we had the boys playing at LIU, premier teams only. So I'm sorry, premier teams and younger teams at Oceanside. Just looking at the preliminary numbers, I don't know if that will necessarily apply this year. I understand that people live on the South Shore do not want to drive to LIU and vice versa. If you have a practice preference place, and you indicated it at tryout registration, we will do our absolute best to honor it. It's not easy. We have to make sure teams are ability based first, and then we go from there. The other thing is we can honor friend requests on lower level teams and younger teams especially. If you have the player's best friend in the world want to play together so bad, but they have two different abilities, we cannot put them together unless the better player wants to play on a lower ability team. That would be the only way we could do it. On the lower ability teams, we're pretty good at honoring friend requests. So I understand that kids sign up to do things with their friends. It's important to them, and we do our best. It's not an easy system. It's something that we spend a lot of time. It's tedious, and we do our best. That's the best I can say. That times for practice vary. They begin in the 5 or 6 o'clock, usually the 6 o'clock hour. Middle school teams and high school winter sports are done with their practices by 5:30, and then we would start our surge program after that in the gyms. Typically the younger teams, the 6th, 7th, 8th graders, we try to get in at latest 7 o'clock start time. The older teams, juniors, seniors in high school, probably will get an 8 o'clock hour start time. So either 8 o'clock or 8:30. Practices are an hour and a half, and all of our practices end by 10 p.m. latest. We try to keep the younger kids playing earlier, and the older kids would get the later time slot. All right, our coaches, our staff are former college players. They're high school coaches. We have top club players. We have former surge players now who are coaching for us. Our premier teams will get 2 jerseys. Like you kind of see it in that picture there. There's the black jersey and the blue jersey. The travel teams get 1 jersey, with the exception being the libero would get an alternate color. Coaches kind of identify who those players are. Tuition also includes a backpack, a Long Island Surge t-shirt. Players are to provide their own shorts. Just need to be black shorts. So spandex shorts for girls. I think it could be any black shorts for boys that they're comfortable in. They just can't have any white trim on them. They can have a white logo, Under Armour, Nike, whatever, just whatever the player is comfortable in. For the jersey, for the uniform shirt, we have a day. Typically, it's like the first week or so of practice. We have our staff go around and have the players try on the shirt to make sure, because sometimes it's like, medium might not be a perfect medium. They pick the one that fits the best. They do get to pick their numbers, so assuming there's no duplicate requests. And then we go from there. It takes about a month for the jerseys to arrive. So we try to get that in right away at the first practice, so we have it in the start of January tournaments. All right, so GIVA is our parent organization. You will need a GIVA membership for the season. You do not need to purchase anything until the bid arrives. If you accept the bid to the team, there will be instructions on how to purchase a junior competition membership. I believe it's either $65 or $70. And that is not something that goes to us. It goes to our parent organization. It allows us to roster the players to participate in our regional tournaments that either we run at LIU or around the New York City area. You require this. Otherwise, we can't even put the player on the roster. So one thing we're going to be adding this year, because this is you've played with us before, done another club. This is not they don't make this very user friendly on how to get this membership. We're going to have the option, if you want to pay for it for us, we will purchase it for you, and that will get added to your tuition, but it would be an optional thing for you. But Jamie, like I said, is our registrar. She said that she would be very able to help families do this if they want to just add it to the tuition. She'll take care of it for you. All right, the tryouts is at St. Paul's Recreation Complex in Garden City. We have the times and the directions posted on our website. So if you want to take the time just to cruise through there, like I said, practice times are going to vary by team, but we do our best to get people where it's most comfortable for them. All right, bids go out after the last tryout and not before. Jerseys are long sleeve for girls, sleeveless for boys. Tournament dates, again, we won't know until December, and then you can try out for the age group you are most comfortable with. And And I think that's pretty. A practice schedule we should know the next few weeks. It will be the tentative schedule will be in the bid email. Just want to put the little star next to it. Everything is subject to change. We don't have our own facility. We have to rent our facilities from Oceanside and LIU. That the days and the times are subject to change. Hopefully they don't change. They haven't ever changed mid-season, but it's something that things could come up. They could decide to run a program, and then we would have to make do and figure it out. And that's it. So I'm going to leave this screen up. This is the tryout times by age group. Just note the entire boys program is where it says boys. So if you have a high school boy who wants to try out, don't send him with where it says 11th grade. Send him where it says boys, please. We won't have the nets the right height. We want to see, obviously the group together. These are the times. It goes to the younger kids early and older kids progressing through the day. And that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to get to the chats. If you don't want to say it out loud, you can type it in the chat. Or you can just drop an email to lisurgevolleyball@gmail.com and we'll get back to you by tomorrow. And that's it. Like I said, my name is Rob. I'm one of the directors. Thank you so much for coming to the meeting. And if you missed any of it or you came in late, copy of this is going to get posted to the website tomorrow. And again, these dates are on the website. Stop sharing now and get to the chat group. If you want to chime in with a question, feel free to unmute and do so, and I would be happy to answer.
Hi, Rob.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Hi, Rob. This is Fazia. So my daughter, she's trying out, but we want to know, like, when we fill out the application, right? We didn't know which team to pick. Like, depending on if you have space, would you place them and let us know, like, okay, maybe she can go on the travel team or the premier team?
Yeah. So, we're going to have both groups trying out together. So,
Okay.
Even if you only indicated travel, but we felt the player was good enough for premier, we reach out to families and say, hey, she was pretty good. Would you consider the premier program?
Sure.
Exactly. And if you don't hear, if you put premier only and you didn't hear or didn't make it, we would consider players for the travel.
Okay.
I don't want to knock the travel program as necessarily lesser in ability. We've had travel teams that were better than the premier team. It's just, like I said, Surge attracts kids, athletes that play 3 sports. And they're good volleyball players, but they don't have time to go to Boston and Philadelphia while they're playing basketball, So, sometimes they play each other in tournaments and it's a good game. It's fun. It's fun match. So.
Got it. And one more thing. I think if I'm not wrong, I heard you mention that you do try to place all the children who try out in one of the groups as much as you can.
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, just want to confirm that. Thank you so much, Rob.
No problem. My
Very
pleasure.
informative. Thank you.
Okay,
Hi, Rob. My name is Trina.
Hi, Trina.
A few questions. How are you?
Good.
So to confirm, tryouts on Sunday are for the premier and the travel options.
Yes.
If you just want to do the middle school program, do you go on Sunday?
No. You don't need to come to the tryout.
Register through the website.
Yeah, don't pay for the tryout. Don't come to the tryout. Middle school program is a sign-up process.
Okay.
And we wouldn't know that information until after we place the travel teams.
Right. So, and if you do the middle school option, you can choose any of day of the week, but it will be at like an appropriate age level. So if it's a 7th grade girl, they won't be playing with necessarily 12th graders.
No. It would be like 6th, 7th, and 8th. So typically the middle school program is beginners. So or kids that couldn't do the travel for whatever reason.
Right.
And they're not sorted by ability. So like I said, it's a sign-up process. Very, very new players and kids that maybe played CYO or, it's just to get the club experience going.
Wonderful. And then how many girls are in the travel club? Like I don't know how many try out, you know what I'm saying? So like, do you do more than one team?
Yeah, it depends on the age.
Like 6, 7, 8. We're talking 7th grade.
Yeah. So what usually happens is once this meeting is over, everybody registers for tryouts, and whatever number I would give you right now would not be the correct, accurate number. Usually the 9th and 10th graders are our most populous. And then it kind of goes a little lower to the juniors and seniors. 8, but we've been running second year running the middle school program. We have a big foundation of 7th and 8th graders who are now going to be entering the travel team. So it would really depend.
Okay. And then would you have more than one team if you have that many?
Yes.
Yes.
we-
Okay.
We've run as many
Thank you
as,
so much.
you're welcome. We've run as many as 4 teams in an age group before.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hi, Rob.
Hi, how are you?
This is Harry.
Hi, Harry.
I'm curious if our child has been involved for over 2 years now in various different organizations. Would you find that the middle school program is going to be competitive enough for her?
It's tough to answer without seeing the player. Typically the middle school program is not competitive, not high stakes. It's we really foster the love of the game there. So just, I'm the director. It's designed for kids who want to try the sport and aren't ready to commit to a season of travel. So if your player has 2 years of competitive experience, I might push it towards travel. Depending on the age, if they're like 5th grade, 6th grade, I would say maybe try the middle school program. If they're
Well,
7th grade with
she's 7th.
experience,
Yeah, she's 7th grade. She's played with CYO. She's done the beach program in Long Beach for 3 years now, right? She did 3 summer seasons with who ran that program? The EEV program in Long Beach.
mhm.
3 summers of that.
Yeah,
she
I might push you towards travel then. Just
She
by
did a
your
Cali
description.
program on the beach this summer, and she did the CYO in the winter season, and
Yeah.
Surge.
Yeah,
Which
I would
sir?
probably say do the travel program, just based on what you're saying.
Right. Okay. Yeah, our only concern is the commitment, but okay, we'll have to think about that. I
Okay,
appreciate it because I know
you got
that
it, no problem.
her EEV program this year, because we didn't bump her up. It was way too easy, and she was with beginners.
Yeah.
It became frustrating on that level for her.
Okay,
All right. Thank you.
you got it. All right, if no one's going to chime in, I'm going to get some of these chat questions. So this is Abby Free. Do you recommend that a player attend both tryouts? Yes. It's better to see a player with as many of the players. Don't have to come to both tryouts. We hope you do, but obviously I know one's over the holiday weekend. Sometimes things come up. You can get to both, great.
Hey, Rob, it's Chris.
Chris.
I answered pretty much all of the chat questions.
Okay.
So if anybody puts something in chat, unless it's something that I couldn't answer or didn't see, I pretty much wrote in all the answers. You guys can look there for answers to your questions.
So I'll introduce you, Chris. Chris is the other director who I had listened in tonight. Make sure I didn't miss any information. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, I would have jumped on with Rob, but I'm a little bit under the weather and he's better at this than me, so I let him have at it. All right, nice to see everybody though.
Hi, this is Abby. I just have one
Hi,
more quick
Abby.
question. Hi, thank you for all the information that you shared.
You're welcome.
So I was asking, Chris answered, but then I realized maybe I wasn't very clear. So different levels within each age group. So say Premier 16, are there,
Yes.
and I might have missed this, are there different levels within that age group? So like for Cali, right? They have blue, black, red, gold, white.
Yes. So essentially we have that. We don't,
Okay.
we don't use the color system. So for the travel and premier, it's ability based. Why we have the
Okay.
tryout. So our premier just means that they are the overnight team, and it does attract players who are serious about the sport.
Right, but within that premier, it's one level considered premier, and then travel is the step down.
Correct.
We don't want to say step down because it could be better, right?
They could be just
Okay.
as competitive. Yeah. The thing
Okay,
is,
great, but there's
we haven't
nothing
run,
beyond.
we have not run more than one premier team in an age group. So
Okay.
again, it's kind of our niche for Surge is we don't have a lot of those players that want that kind of commitment. It's just,
Yep.
that's always been who we are. And, we offered Premier, I think this is our third or fourth year with Premier. And, we've had some serious teams that have done very well, but usually it's just one. I'm not saying we wouldn't run two Premier teams if we had enough interest.
Right.
I don't know. I can't know that, we're not gonna just send a Premier team, to 3 away tournaments, and if they're all beginner volleyball players just because they wanted to do it.
Right. I get
Push
it.
them into the travel program. Yep,
Yes, I appreciate that. Thank you.
you got it.
Hi, my name's Cynthia. I was
Hi,
just
Cynthia.
wondering if a child's not going to be placed on either a Premier or travel team, do you notify them as well?
Yes, we would never leave you hanging.
Okay.
Like I said, the only times we really had to do that is if we didn't have enough players to field a team or another team. So, if we have enough interest, there's a place for everybody. Like I said in the beginning, we do this because we love to do this. We're not looking to nickel and dime people. We love the game. We want to teach the game, and we want every player to get better. So, if that comes, we would send an email with our apologies that we didn't have a team, but that would be, that's not something that we have done often.
Okay, because my daughter tried out for another club and they said they were having 2 teams for the under 15, and then they ended up just having one, what they call
Yeah.
black team. And then she missed all the other tryouts for other clubs because,
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
anticipate like U15 4 teams?
So,
Most likely.
so we have run
I know
as
you-
many as 4 in U15. I
Yeah.
don't know the numbers offhand of how many are trying out. But our tryouts are later than the other clubs. I know the other clubs are already
Right.
done.
Mhm.
We kind of chose to do that because we don't really attract the same kids, to be honest.
No, I
So-
know. She played on a club team out east in Rival last
Okay,
year. So just
that's like
like
at a hot dog rival club.
yeah, local travel. So I'm
Yep.
looking for something closer.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
All right, on the South Shore. Thank you.
No problem.
Hi, my name is Krista. How are you? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Krista.
I did see, I was reading through some of the chats. Some of the responses are not directly connected to the chat, so I'm sorry if this was already asked. But
That's cool, right?
say you signed your daughter up to try out for the Premier team, and they don't necessarily make the Premier team. Will in that bid, will they be offered then say the travel team, or will it just state you did not make the Premier team? Do you then have to then apply and try to register for the travel team, or will that automatically be offered as a secondary option?
It would kind of an automatic thing. So once the Premier team
Okay.
is set, you won't get an email that said you didn't make Premier. Email you would get would be, this is the team we're offering you, and it's a travel team. And then like kind of in between the lines is, the Premier team was not an option.
Right. Okay, great.
But you do hear back either way.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it.
Hi, it's Daniela, and my parents were wondering if there was any way to know if for premier practices, if they would be only in Oceanside or if it's still that chance of it being an LIU post. So kind of where have the practices for premier teams been prior to this year?
They've all been in Oceanside for this year. I can say that there will be Premier teams out of Oceanside this year. Doesn't mean that they're all will be, but the Premier teams we decide first. And if we look at the crop of players and most of them live in the North Shore, we would run it out of LIU. We're not going to make everybody, come down to the South Shore. If the majority of the players are South Shore, it would do. So, I can't, I wish I could be like, here's where the practices are going to be in the times. I just don't have enough information yet. I don't have the gym times official yet from Oceanside. I know a lot of people like Surge because it's on the South Shore. So we would do our best, but I know that's not the best answer, but that would be the best I could tell you right now. All right, I think I'm gonna say goodnight. I'll stay on just another couple minutes. But again, I want to thank everybody for coming. If you have like a last minute question, you want to just wait around and ask me when it dies down, feel free. But thank you. I hope to see everybody this season and maybe at the tryouts this weekend. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful night.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hey, Rob. You
Yes.
still there? Hi, this
Yes.
is Mike. Just
Hi,
a quick
Mike.
question. Roster sizes, what do you typically keep?
So ideal number for us is 11. That's like the
Okay.
perfect. We would usually 10 minimum. We've had as many as 13. Usually it's around there. We don't do, like 18
Yeah.
kids on a team. It's too short of a season.
Too much.
Yeah.
Too much.
So I would say ideal is 11, anywhere from 10 to 13, closer to 11.
Now, with that answer, like, it sometimes sounds like a bigger answer, but in volleyball now there's 7 starters. You need a backup that can play pretty much every position. That puts you at 10 or 11 right there. There's, I don't want to jinx it or anything, but there's always injuries. There's always a kid that can't make two. And the last thing we would want to have to do, and it has happened, is cancel a tournament because we just can't field the team.
Yeah.
So that's the reason for the number being in and around 10.
It's 7 on the court for everyone.
No, but it's 6 in a libero. So the libero usually
even yeah
for the middles.
No.
So pretty much consider it 7 players playing at any given set without subs.
Okay, thanks.
Hi, my name is Tenny. I have a quick question. I'm sorry if you mentioned this before. When are typical practice days?
So depending on the location, it looks like this year LIU would be Tuesday, Thursday. I'm like I'd say 80% certain of that. And Oceanside would be any day of the week, Monday through Friday, after 7 p.m.
So when we get the bid, do we know where we're gonna be? Because
So you get a tentative practice schedule, but I
okay.
don't know if you heard me before. It's subject to change. We kind of base it on. So like basically, I asked them, "Here's what I need," and usually they're like, "Okay, here, yeah, this is what we had last year and the year before." The only hiccup would be if they say, "Oh, but you can't have it this night anymore because we have a program," and then we would need to change it last minute. But that's pretty much, part of it because we don't have our own facility. We're at their whim of their schedule. So,
Okay, thank you. So basically, if this is suitable for us, we have to be able to be flexible to travel between
Yeah.
LIU and Oceanside, basically. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
I can tell you the last 2 years, the tentative schedule, I think we adjusted time slightly, but it was pretty much the nights of the week we said.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, it's Andrea. I have a quick question. I
Sure.
put it in the chat. My daughter usually plays the libero DS position. Did I hear correctly that you guys would train her for all positions?
Yeah, so we teach everybody the approach, teach everybody how to
Okay.
block. That doesn't mean she's going to play there, but like Chris said, if our middle goes down with an injury and now we need somebody to play middle,
Gotcha.
everybody will have at least the basics. So,
Okay.
but like we have a ton of liberos come through our program, and that's their focus at practice, and coaches know that they're DS defensive specialist, and she'll get a ton of reps there. But if a lot of what I meant by that is if it's new players coming into the program for the first time, I don't want
Got
them
it.
to think that they're going to get pigeonholed into one position and never serve or never play front row just because the coach wants it that way. They're going to play everything, at least
Okay.
in practice.
Thank you.
I think the best answer that we can give you too is that pigeonholing a player should largely be done by age. I wouldn't put a 13-year-old and just make them a libero. I would teach them all the skills they would need to be a volleyball player first, and then a libero second. However, once they get a little older, I think, 15-ish, 16, 17, we want to start getting them position specific.
Yep. She's 15, and she played club last year. So, okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, that's where we'd start focusing more in on her being a libero or DS.
Great. Thank you.
Hi, I put a question in the chat. I wanted to know if there's an option for 9th grade girls that are beginners.
So the middle school program is over by 9th grade. I would probably say to email LI Surge at the end of this meeting, explain maybe a little bit more about your player, and then I can get back to you with maybe some options.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
All right, sorry. Thank you. All right, well, if anybody has any more questions, please feel free to email LI Surge. We'll get back to you within a day or so. Thank you again. I'm going to end the meeting now. And thank you for coming, and we will see you soon. Have a great night, everybody.
Thank you.
How to end this? Good night.